taking it all in, Michelle?
Yeah, I don't really want to celebrate something that was built by slaves.
Oh, I'm sure the Washington Monument wasn't built by... Okay.
All right, guys, we're about to get into some really serious stuff. Okay, I've been seeing a lot of who's better getting slung around, and we need to settle the debate right now, all right? Because there's a lot of contenders that want to take the mantle, but there can be only one. I am talking about who is the best Spider-Man. There are a lot of Spider-Men, Spider-People, Spider-Niggas.
Spider-People?
Yeah. There's a lot of Spider-friendly or foes. It's just a lot of spiders in the universe, whether it be Spider-Heroes, Spider-Villains. Spider-Lore is very... Can we call it that? Can we call it Spider-Lore? Spider-Lore is very interwebbed with pop culture. Spider-Man is everywhere, starting with the Toby Maguire movies, and then we got the Andrew Garfield movies. And Marvel said, yo, Sony, can we borrow it? And then we got the MCU movies. But then Sony was like, yo, let's do something with ourselves. And then PS4, it's so much Spider-Man. That's not even counting the old TV show, the cartoon series, the comic book that started it all. There's Spider-Man everywhere, right? So when I think about Spider-Man, unfortunately, Spider-Man didn't really start to pop off till Toby Maguire. Now that's just the test of time. If I look at Batman, right, and I'll get Adam West versus Christian Bale, I mean, honestly, Christian Bale. It's only because those are two can't be. You can't really, they don't pass the test of time, whereas Christian Bale's Batman does. And it's similar with Toby Maguire moving forward for Spider-Man. So now that we're on track, right, everyone's saying, oh, this Spider-Man's better. Toby's the best. Andrew's the best. Tom's the best. I'm here to tell you, none of those three are the best. Now I can hear you. Let's break down who the best Spider-Man is. Because I can tell you right now, they might come close, but they're not the best. All right, now I've compiled 5 Spider-Men out of all the Spider-Men we've seen in movies. And these 5 Spider-Men are the best Spider-Men that I've seen presented to me visually, right? So video games can count, comic books can count, TV shows can count. I want to give a shout out to MTV Spider-Man. Neil Patrick Harris voiced him. Many of y'all might not have known that. Also, Drake Bell voiced the Spider-Man. So Spider-Man actors be out here. Number 5, the worst Spider-Man out of these best 5. Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. I know a lot of people say he's the best. He is far from the best. Andrew Garfield is, out of these 5, is the worst.
I'm a nobody. Hey, you're not a nobody. You're somebody. Like that. Right, listen to me. Now I need you. You're my eyes and ears out here. All right? All right.
Let me tell you why. As Spider-Man, he's all right, but he's kind of an asshole. Like, look how he treats this guy. That's not... Spider-Man doesn't do that. He just over here just freestyle while my man's getting webbed up. That's not right. Spider-Man shouldn't dunk on niggas. It's not LeBron James out here. What is this? Nigga, he not the Lakers. I thought he was about to post up with AD. Spider-Man should not be dunking on niggas and be like, look. No, man. What? Are you serious? Look, he was cool, but the movies were just boring. I don't want to get into that. The whole thing where, oh, the lizard finds his camera because he's dumb and he writes property or Peter Parker, but he carries around a Spider-Man. Nigga, what, Pete? Andrew Garfield Spider-Man was cool and like skateboarded. He wasn't even the one getting bullied. He was standing up for the bully. And speaking for some niggas who got bullied, you know, Spider-Man is cool because he was a nerd that became Spider-Man. It wasn't because he was the nigga that watched him niggas get beat up. That wasn't the ethos of Spider-Man. Also, man, you lied to Gwen Stacy's father. That nice man asked you, please stay away from my daughter. When you're around her, dangerous things happen. Tell me that wasn't what he was talking about, but we'll move on. Number 4, Toby Maguire. Now I can hear a lot of you guys already capped for Toby Maguire right now. All right, look. Toby Maguire kicked off the superhero universe, MCU, DC Extended Universe, whatever you want to say. That first Spider-Man movie was what allowed all these other movies to be made. Daredevil tried its hardest to stop that though. There is no MCU without that first Spider-Man movie, and Toby Maguire is the most iconic Spider-Man.
Workout, plenty of rest, you know, eat your green vegetables.
That's what my mom is always saying. I just never actually believed her.
Let's talk about some of the changes they made because they wanted to go with the theme of puberty, so they had the webs come out of his body instead of him making the web shooters, which the whole thing of Peter's, he's also really smart, so he makes the web shooters because he's really sticky and strong and shit, because gets over detailed when you think, is his body producing the web? The web is a euphemism for semen. So is he producing web other places? Okay, man. I just don't know. It's weird. You feel me? But other than that, it's the iconic this. It's this thing. We all learned this from Toby Maguire. But my biggest problem with Toby Maguire is like he was like 30 in high school. And you go back and watch those movies and like the nigga's like 30. And you know, it's just whatever. That's whatever. This nigga's just 30. It was things when you go back and watch movies, niggas was like 40 years old. Watch Grease. That nigga's not in high school. Tell me this nigga's supposed to be in high school. So I forgive Spider-Man for that, but other than that, it's just campy. It's kind of lame, really. Peter Parker can't like make a serious face. Like when you get Iron Man and Captain America and even Tom Holland, they can act. And Tobey Maguire can act. It's just, as Spider-Man, his range of emotion is very limited. And I need my Spider-Man to have emotion. You feel me? That's why number 3 is Tom Holland. Tom Holland as the MCU Spider-Man. After we got Tobey Maguire, and that was like, cool. And then we got Andrew Garfield, and I was like, what the fuck was that, yo? This was just a mess. Then we got Tom Holland, and I was like, from the very beginning of seeing Tom Holland in Civil War, nigga popped off. I was like, oh, okay, he funny. You got me. You already got my heart. You just gotta get your own movie now, have that movie pop. Then he had Spider-Man Homecoming. Spider-Man Homecoming was dope.
No, Karen, what's going on up there?
The Chitauri core is detonated and caused severe structural damage to the elevator.
Oh no.
My friends are up there.
What? Don't worry, ma'am. Everything's gonna be okay. Excuse me. Oh my god, that's tall.
On purpose, they're like, oh, all that shit you saw in the previous Spider-Man movie, got rid of it. It's gone. Here's some new shit. We know you saw Uncle Ben die like twice. No more of that. Look, we know you saw Spider-Man swinging through the city. It's cool, but we're gonna cut down on that. And what Tom Holland brought to Spider-Man, he brought life to Spider-Man. I think one scene that really won me over for Tom Holland as one of the best Spider-Man has to be where he has the whole weight of a building collapsed on top of him. And we realize that he is just a kid that might be in over his head. But he realizes that no, he's Spider-Man. And he pushes the rubble off of him. Actually ripping the scene directly from the comic books. I was like, I love this. And this nigga funny. A lot of people don't like how Tony Stark-esque he feels, but it's just a different universe. In the MCU, Tony Stark is his Uncle Ben, so I rock with it. Tell me when this happened. It wasn't a dry eye in the theater, nigga. I was like, why did I want to come see this movie? Why? Okay. He was like, oh, it feels so good. I was like, me neither. But that's 3. And we're not even in the top 2. That's because Shameik Moore as Miles Morales is the second best Spider-Man. Man. When I watched Into the Spider-Verse, I might have to do a whole video on Into the Spider-Verse if you guys want. But that movie is a perfect movie. And Miles as Spider-Man, it is the same story we've heard, but from a new tale. And when Miles was introduced in the comics, he kind of was token-esque, and it's like, oh, look, he's Hispanic and black. What's the story? You know, what's whatever. Nah, give us some more story. And Into the Spider-Verse gives Miles his own story that merges here, where we take essences of the comic books as the Prowler and his dad and his mom. And there's so many things about the story that gets me excited. So many things I wish that could have translated to the game that would have made the game so much better, because Miles Morales Into the Spider-Man goes through it. He goes from being the shit. He's not even Spider-Man yet. He's just popular at school, and because he's smart, he gets moved to a different school, and he's a fish out of water, and we got to react with Miles.
Why are all my thoughts so loud? I know you snuck out last night, Morales. Play dumb. Who's Morales? Not that dumb.
He's funny, he's unsure of himself, but also confident. And him learning through Spider-Man B how to be Spider-Man, where he eventually has to accept and give in and just take a leap of faith. And then when he becomes Spider, oh man, Miles really exuberates what it means to be Spider-Man, because anyone can wear the mask. Just talking about Miles gets me excited. And we got a black Spider-Man. I was waiting for it. I was like, yo, let's go. I know we got Black Panther and everything, but I was like, Spider-Man's my nigga. Look, you can't even see it. If you can't see it, I'll put a picture up on Instagram. I got a reason to talk about Spider-Man, but he's not the best. Let's get some honorable mentions, because there are a ton of Spider-Mans. One of my favorite iterations of the comic is a what if situation where Spider-Man goes insane because Mary Jane dies. These scenes here show him fucking up Iron Man, going to Kingpin, punching through him, and then some bullshit happens at the end. I won't really spoil that, but it's some bullshit. But also, there's another scene where Spider-Man threatens literally to web all of the inside of Kingpin. He breaks into prison. Kingpin's like, you won't kill me. And Peter is like, nah, you got me fucked up. You right. Spider-Man won't kill you. Takes off the suit and he's like, nah, but Peter will fuck you up. And I was like, yo, Spider-Man is on one. So I really am a fan of Spider-Man. But my favorite Spider-Man and what I think is the best Spider-Man is Yuri Lowenthal's Spider-Man from PlayStation 4's and Insomniac's Spider-Man.
Yeah, I am gonna have to call you right back.
Why? What's going on? You look good. Been working out?
Oh. I mean, you know, a little.
So, you swinging solo now? Or back with your ex?
That's a lot of questions.
Not only is it a perfect game, but I think it takes what Spider-Man is and wraps this into something that I've really desired for a long time that these movies won't show me. I want to see Peter outside of high school. Look, I get it. High school. And that's the age where you get the most demographics. But like, bruh, Peter has so many stories where he's an adult. I need to see Peter out of high school. They tried it with Toby Maguire's Peter, but then they was like, nope, send your ass back to high school. Nigga, this ain't Saved by the Bell. Can we see Peter try and struggle with some bills and saving the city? I already passed 5th period, so I can't really relate to him being in high school. Spider-Man in Insomniac's game works as an intern. And this nigga struggled with bills and he's trying to pay rent. Nigga, he about to get evicted. I was just swinging around, mind my business. And I got chirp. Yeah, nigga, all your shit in the trash. You got evicted. I was like, huh? I thought this felt real. You have to deal with so many emotional consequences in this game, and it ends with you and the person that was supposed to be your mentor. You know, classic superhero shit. You gotta take him down. It is a great Spider-Man story. Spoilers. Sorry. It's a great Spider-Man story. It's been out for 2 years, nigga. I'm sorry. It's a great Spider-Man game, and it's a great iteration of who Spider-Man is because he's funny and he's helpful, and he has little sidekicks like MJ and Aunt May and Miles, and it's just a great game, and it's great being Spider-Man. It makes you really feel like you're Spider-Man. That's my list. I think Yuri Lowenthal, especially being a 30-year-old man performing as a 20-year-old kid, he nails it. He nails the voice of Peter. Peter while swinging, Peter when he's serious, when he needs to show emotion. That's what I meant with Toby Maguire. Can't really... Peter goes through so many things, and you need to feel it. Like, tell me right here you felt that in Peter's voice.
This means too much to me. Not more than it means to me. If you want to change the world, you have to be the kind of man who can make the hardest decisions. I couldn't agree more. No!
Plus, if I'm being honest, he is the only one that I've seen take on his entire rogues gallery. Most are just hinted at or shown. Here, Peter fought, I mean he lost, but he fought all of his rogues. I haven't seen any other Spider-Man do that, so yeah, this one wins. He did get his ass beat though. Give me a rank of who your favorite Spider-Man is. I'm curious, because that's just me. Everyone has a different Spider-Man list. If you haven't, I got a whole video ranking the Star Wars. I already started with the prequels. So, you want to figure out my journey through Star Wars, go watch that. But thanks for watching this video, guys. My name's Cliff, and this has been Unpack That Bull. Peace.